If I start telling people about hell, I might just scare them off. Where are you going to scare them off to? Hell number 2? Or are you just going to sit there and let them burn?
He was talking about the depopulation, eugenics, and global governance earlier on. Does anyone know, or the people, the populace, do they know that this is a part of the green agenda? There are 3 tiers in the green agenda. Do they know that?
Oh, well,
Sheila?
I'll tell you what. Most people don't have a clue what's going on with this. And again, we talked about the core of Marxism, socialism, communism, racism, all these isms. It ties into really, well, it's fueled by Satan, because let's think about this. Satan has always been envious of one thing. What is it? God and his creation. In fact, so much that in the absolute ultimate form of egotistical self-exaltation, what did he do? He tried to take over God's throne. It was the ultimate coup d'etat, wasn't it, that earned Satan a one-way ticket out of heaven into hell as his final destination. And so that is really the whole piece of this. The devil and his minions, they're the ultimate counterfeiters and manipulators. And so the green agenda is not about being a good environmental steward, but rather it's a very malevolent tactic used by Satan to advance his evil end-time agenda, and it ties in with the Antichrist, the coming global dictator. And that's the thing, and I always think this is so important for Christians to get this, is that we've always been in Satan's crosshairs right from the garden. And Satan wants to take as many people into, well, as your title, don't let them burn, into a devil's hell that God did not intend for mankind to go. But, he continues to victimize humanity in every little subtle way that he can devise until he's thrown into eternal damnation. And that is what this is all about, is the fact that he's leading people down a very, very malevolent path. I wish there was more synonyms for malevolent, but it's so insidious, it's so absolutely evil, but it's so ingenious at the same time, because even Karl Marx would have salivated at the idea of using phony junk pseudoscience to convince you that you're responsible because you breathe, that you're heating up the Earth's atmosphere with this runaway global warming. And by the way, it's not global warming anymore, just so you guys know. They quit using that because, of course, Al Gore called it that. Then they called it climate change. Then it was global climate disruption. Then it was climate weirding. And I think now it's back to atmospheric radicalization or some stupid thing. It's so ridiculous. And you almost have to laugh because people are buying into this thing hook, line, and sinker, Rory and Chris.
The interesting thing is that the guy that made the Weather Channel even came out publicly and said that global warming is nothing but a hoax.
Patrick Moore, yeah.
Yeah. And so, and on another spectrum, one of the deceptions I see coming out, because I think this has at least one of the chains in the link here, a link in the chain, is the church is taking in yoga, Hinduism, like nothing. You have Christian yoga and all of this goes back into this whole pantheism and worshiping animals and environments and saving this and saving that and hugging trees. It really gets ridiculous when you have the body of Christ taking in paganism. That's basically what it is, paganism. And so I went to the beach one time with a group of church folks. There's this one person in the crowd that started talking something, because at this point it was when the Gulf with the oil pipeline, the oil rig, and they were talking about how all the oil is coming around Florida and stuff, and the fishes might die off or whatever. And she was like, "Yeah, you need to go to a class to we need to save this and save that." I'm like, wow, really? They make it seem like tomorrow everything is just gonna collapse. And that's just what I see with a lot of these people that are pushing this agenda, or they want to go and save the dolphin or save the whale, or they'll look after animals more than what they will look after people. They'll jump in a pool after a dog before they jump into the pool to save a human life.
Well, yeah, and don't forget that these people that, as you alluded to, are running around saving the planet, hugging trees and saving the polar bears and the whales. And I mean, it's so absolutely mind-numbing, because here's the thing. This whole revival of ancient occult paganism, it actually rejects Christianity. So you have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of Christians running around doing this. And yet here's what they don't know is, and again, I go back to your little Starbucks mug. You go ask a Starbucks person tomorrow. I challenge all your listeners to go ask one of the managers of these Starbucks, or go up to a barista and say, what is this on here? They're deer in headlights. This dystopic trance, this fog comes over them. And you know what a guy actually said to me, and I wish I had a camera crew. This was so funny. He goes, oh, that's just a green mermaid. I said, oh, okay. Wow. And then, of course, you got the pentagram and such occult symbols on there. But so this is the deal with Gaia. Gaia, Maya, Diana, again, Sammy Ramis, pick your pagan title. Gaia worship actually considers Christianity to be its biggest nemesis. And so if you have a Christian faith, and that's the only obstacle to a global religion centered on uniting all this, Mother Earth goddess worship, if you think about that, that is the ultimate, really, it's so clever, because this whole thing, this green agenda, is really, Rory and Chris, it's a cunning mixture of science, paganism, Eastern mysticism. And it's feminism too, but it's made it the fastest growing religion. You talked about the Kundalini. Now you have all these churches embracing, gold dust and feathers and barking like chickens, and you got this Kundalini spirit running rampant through the church. We're talking about, folks, Eastern meditation and mysticism. This is Vedic Hinduism. And, if you listen, I'm going to tell your folks something right now. If you are a Christian and you are going to yoga, I'm going to tell you what, you're going to get the Kundalini spirit. When you open your chakras and you start bowing down to every one of these so-called downward dog and all these poses, do you know that is actually bowing down to every one of those poses is actually a deity? And this is very dangerous, because this is evil spirits of witchcraft, the occult, divination, Eastern mysticism, ascended masters. You're going to you'll pick up something besides exercise. You're going to pick up a whole lot of demons, folks.
Yeah, it's so true. And they don't understand that you cannot separate yoga and Hinduism and just do an exercise. It's not an exercise. But, I tell people, and they, sort of giggle at me or whatever, laugh at me. But one day they'll find out that the practice they're into is nothing but demonic. Just because you didn't walk home with a demon the first day doesn't mean you won't walk home with one the 10th day. So
that's right.
If you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our frequent updates.